Alright guys, it's No Dramas here. Today I want to talk about something that's really underrepresented and I think underappreciated in the League of Legends community, and that's going to be League of Legends lore. Now I find it really fun to read up on different champions' lore, especially champions I really like, because I feel that when you're actually playing that champion in game, having a sense of how they actually got to the rift itself can actually make the game a lot more fun for yourself. So with that being said, I would urge you to, after this video, go out for yourself, pick your favourite champion, read up on their lore, and get a real in-depth view of who you're playing. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. You know, some people like it, some people don't. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with my top 5 favourite champion lores in League of Legends. So coming in at number 5, I've put Wukong, the Monkey Man. Now Wukong's story starts with an enormous runestone deep in the plagued jungles. It remained there untouched for centuries, and basically all the wildlife around it was granted sentience, monkeys, plants, everything alike. One of these plants became a wise sage and basically tried to harness the power of this runestone to make everything immortal. But the experiment went wrong and it created this all-powerful monkey named Kong. This monkey was driven by an unquenchable desire for greatness. He sought out every beast in the jungle, but nothing was strong enough to take him down. Nothing offered the challenge that he craved. He learned of the hairless monkeys to the north, and hearing about this, he decided to journey away to try and find them. On his travels, he met Master Yi, who was deep in meditation at the time. Kong asked him who the strongest warrior in the world was, and Yi told him about the League of Legends. This intoxicated Wukong, a place where he could battle the strongest fighters in the world, and Kong asked Yi to teach him the Wuju style, and to teach him the ways of the humans. Master Yi agreed to this, but only if Wukong at some point would teach a pupil of his own. In the spirit of this agreement, Master Yi renamed Kong Wukong and gave him his ultimate staff that was an unrivaled masterpiece. Guided by Master Yi, Wukong joined the league to prove himself as the best and to show the world the true power of Wuju. Coming in at number 4, I've got Rengar. On every wall of his den, the trophy hunter Rengar mounts the heads, horns, claws and fangs of the most lethal creatures in Valorant. Though his collection is extensive, he remains unsatisfied, tirelessly seeking greater game. He takes time with every kill, studying his prey, learning and preparing himself for the next encounter with one monster he never managed to defeat. This monster, of course, was Kha'Zix. After years of hunting unworthy prey, Rengar was more than ready for the challenge. Rengar ambushed the alien monster in haste. It far outclassed anything he hunted before. Their fight was savage, and each suffered crippling wounds. Rengar lost an eye, but the most grievous blow was to his pride. He had never before failed to make the kill. After being forced to retreat, Rengar was racked with pain, but beneath it he felt a glimmer of joy. The hunt was on. If such powerful beings existed in the world, he would find them and stack their heads high. This alien creature, however, was a kill he wanted to savour. On his den's largest wall, he reserves a space for the beast's head, a trophy he swears one day will be the centerpiece of his collection. Moving on to number 3, we've got Kassadin. There is a place between dimensions and between worlds. To some it is known as the outside, to others it is just the unknown. To most, however, it is called the Void. Despite its name, the Void is not an empty place, but rather the home of unspeakable things, horrors not meant for the minds of men. Though such knowledge is lost in modern times, there are those who have unwittingly discovered what lies beyond, and they may have been able to turn away. Kassadin is such a creature. He was once a man forced to look upon the face of the Void, and forever changed by what he saw. Once a seeker of forbidden knowledge, he discovered that what he sought was something else entirely. He is one of the few that has found his way to the forgotten Akavia and lived to tell the tale, following the scant breadcrumbs hidden in ancient texts. Within the city itself, Kassadin found secrets of the kind that he will never share. Secrets that made him quake with fear and the visions of things to come that were thrust upon him. The power of the place threatened to consume him forever, but Kassadin took the only route available to him in order to survive. He let the Void inside him. Miraculously, he was able to overcome the alien urges that went with it, and he emerged as something more than human. Though a part of him died that day, Kassadin knows that he must protect Valorant from the things scratching at the door, waiting to get in and visit their torments upon the world. They are only one step away, something to which appearance of the abomination known as Cho'Gath attests. If you look upon the Void, you can't put it behind you. If you look upon Kassadin, he is probably already there. So at number 2, I'm going to put Olaf. Most men would say that death is a thing to be feared. None of those men would be Olaf. Olaf throws himself into every fight with reckless abandon, surrendering to the bloodlust deep within his being. Olaf is only truly alive when grappling with the jaws of death. His home of Lokfar is a barren, frozen wasteland and is among the brutal places in the Freljord. Olaf was a warrior with no shortage of glories and no hesitation to share them. While boasting one evening with his clansmen over the burning embers of a razed village, one of the elder warriors grew tired of Olaf's bluster. He goaded Olaf to read the omens and see if Olaf's fortunes matched his gloating. Olaf mocked the aged raider's envy and tossed the knucklebones of a long-dead beast to predict the heights of glory he'd achieve in death. All chatter and mirth left the gathering as the clansmen read the portents. The bones spoke of a long life and a quiet passing. This infuriated Olaf, and he stormed into the night determined to prove the prediction false, by finding and slaughtering Lokfar's most feared frost serpent. The monster had consumed thousands, man and ship alike, in its long lifetime, and to die in battle with it would be a fitting end for any warrior. As Olaf hurled himself into the blackness of his maw, he fell deeper into the blackness of his mind. When the shock of freezing water roused him from the dark, there was only the butchered carcass of the beast afloat beside him. Thwarted, but not defeated, Olaf set out to hunt down every legendary creature with claws and fangs, hoping that the next battle would be his last. Each time he charged headlong towards his coveted death, only to be spared by the frenzy that washed over him whilst on its brink. Olaf concluded that no mere beast could grant him a warrior's death. His solution was to take on the most fearsome tribe in the Freljord, the Winter's Claw. Sejuani appeared amused by Olaf's challenge to a warband, but this audacity would earn him no mercy. She ordered the charge and sent scores of her warriors to overwhelm Olaf. One by one they fell until he lost himself in the bloodlust once again, effortlessly cutting a path to the leader of Winter's Claw. The clash between Olaf and Sejuani rocked the glaciers with its force, and though he seemed unstoppable, Sejuani battled the berserker to a standstill. As they stood deadlocked, Sejuani's glare penetrated Olaf's berserker haze in a way no weapon ever could. His frenzy abated long enough for her to make him an offer. Sejuani swore that she would find Olaf his glorious death if he would lend his axe to her campaign of conquest. In that moment, Olaf vowed he would carve his legacy into the Freljord itself. And finally, coming in at number 1, my favourite ever lore in League of Legends is gotta be Jax. It is seldom the case where a champion is defined by his actions after joining the League of Legends rather than before. Such is the case with Jax, for whom the argument can be made that he is the most prolific tournament fighter currently at the Institute of War. Before joining the League, Jax was an unremarkable soldier for hire. For reasons known only to the former leader of the League, High Councillor Reginald Ashram, Jax was put on top of the list of candidates to receive a League judgment, the interview process that either accepts or rejects a prospective champion. His judgment was the quickest in League history, where the doors of acceptance glowed and slowly swung open as soon as it began. Jax faced no recorded observation or reflection during his judgment. Jax proved himself to be an immediate terror in the fields of justice. The self-proclaimed armed master of the League rattled off a streak of consecutive wins that to this day has not been matched. A number of summoners in the League grew concerned that the perceived objectivity of the League of Legends would be questioned by the presence of an unknown fighter who was unbeatable. For this reason, the new leader of the League, following Reginald Ashram's disappearance, High Councillor Hayward Revelash, created special restrictions for Jax to fight under. This was something the League had never done before, and something that has never been done since. The burly fighter responded by imposing his own special conditions as a means of protest. He permitted himself to fight using only a brass lamppost. Neither the League's sanctions nor his own affected his winning ways. The League has since rescinded its sanctions, but Jax has not. He fights and fights well with his trusty brass lamppost. Be advised, there's been an outbreak of lamppost-shaped bruises in the League of Legends. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a bit different to what I usually do. But I've been reading up on the lore recently and I've been really enjoying it. And I just thought, I want to share that with you guys. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see future content like this. Or just some more educational content in the future. And hopefully I'll see you for another video.